Mark and Paulette here, the two travelers in Mexico, and today's topic is all about solvency requirements for getting a temporary or permanent visa in Mexico, and we're going to cover it for the US and Canada as well.
But one thing beforehand, when I was sitting here getting ready, putting on my little mic, remember I told you guys about the holes? Look at this. Can you see that? Can you see all these holes? I have like 11 holes in this shirt. Now, if they're not from the washing machine, I don't know what they're from, but this will be my painting work shirt from now on.
All right.
Anyhow, just had to share that because I've talked about that many times with you guys.
Yeah.
And here we go again, more holes.
All right, so
Prendel, get down. Got the dogs out here today.
first we are going to talk about the requirements for the United States. I'll read some and then Paulette will read some. Qualifying based on monthly income. Temporary visas, financial requirements. A regular income of at least $4,300 US per month over the last 6 months, but some consulates will require you to show them 12 months worth of bank statements.
Now, that's a lot of money. When we came over, 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago? I don't remember what the requirement was then, but we qualified.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. A lot of people cannot qualify on that amount of money.
Yeah, I want to say, it was more than that. I mean, less than this for sure. It seemed like it's gone up about 20% a year.
Yeah, I want to say it was like 2,500 maybe?
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark.
I think something like that. 4 years ago, just in 4 years. Look what's happened. Wait until he gets to the permanent.
Yeah. Now, for the permanent residency visa in the United States, a regular income of at least $7,300 per month over the last 6 months. Consulates will want you to show at least 6 months worth of bank statements and maybe even 12. So
that's insane. I don't even know how many people would actually qualify for that. How much did you say? 7,000?
$7,300 US per month.
I mean, I don't even know what percentage that would be.
Yeah.
10%? Maybe 15? I don't know. Maybe for doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs. Maybe they make that kind of money.
Yeah. So the next topic for the U.S. is going to be qualifying based on capital investment balances for a temporary residency visa. You have to be able to show accounts totaling at least $73,200 over the last 12 months. And that amount cannot have fallen below that for any of those 12 months.
Wow.
Yeah, that
is crazy. That's why I always say, if you can do it now, temporary or permanency, do it now, because the way it's always been, and I've said this over and over and over, if you go temporary and you qualify, before your 4th year is up, the first year you'll do 1 year temporary, that's what they'll give you. You can renew it for 3. Before that 3rd year is up, or your 4th year, whatever you want to call it, you can apply for permanent and slip right in. There's no qualifications. There has been no financial qualifications that we are aware of.
Yeah, well, that's how Paulette slid in there.
That's how I slid in there.
Now, qualifying based on capital investment balances for permanent residency. Now, just listen to these numbers. You have to show an account balance of at least 4,978,000 pesos, or about $293,000 US over the last 12 months. And again, that total cannot drop below the minimum required at any point during that last 12 months.
Yeah, and I don't know how many people are going to fit that number.
Yeah, I don't
I mean,
know.
if you sold your house or you were real good and you didn't, have any kind of financial issues during all that time and you were able to save and do very well for yourself, with no setbacks, then yeah. But that's not the average person.
No. So next up is going to be qualifying on property value, that property has to be owned in Mexico.
Yeah, so you can qualify if you own property in Mexico, if you own a home. So he's going to tell you what the requirements are for the temporary and permanent, or is it just one?
Just one.
Just one. Okay,
Right.
just one.
So the minimum market value of your property has to be at least 9,957,000 pesos, approximately 581,500 US dollars, and it has to be free and clear of a mortgage or liens. And we figure the 581,500 US dollars based on the current exchange rate of 17.1 pesos to the US dollar. All right, so do you want to do the Canada ones?
No, I'm just going to sit here and look pretty.
Okay. Next up, Canada. Qualifying based on monthly income. For temporary visa, financial requirements for Canadians is as follows. A regular income of at least 6,160 Canadian dollars per month over the last 6 months. Again, some consulates will require 12 months worth of bank statements. The permanent residency visa, a regular income of at least 10,267 Canadian dollars per month over the last 6 months. And again, some consulates will require you to supply 12 months worth of bank statements. Now, if you're in Canada and you want to qualify based on capital investment balances for temporary residency visa, you have to show account balances totaling at least 102,671 Canadian dollars over the 12 months. Again, that balance cannot fall below that minimum number at any time during the 12 months. Qualifying based on capital investment balances for permanent residency. Again, it's 4,978,600 pesos, a balance of 392,706 Canadian dollars a month over the last 12 months. Now, the next subject we're going to cover is qualifying on property value owned in Mexico for Canadians. The property value has to be is the same as it is for the U.S., 9,957,000 pesos. That at this point in time is approximately 785,397 Canadian dollars. Again, it has to be free and clear of a mortgage or liens, and that is based on the current exchange rate of 12.67 pesos for the Canadian dollar. So those are the financial requirements covering the two of the types of residencies that people use most. There are other ways to get in if you marry a Mexican citizen, or
you have a child.
Or
but usually retirees won't be having a child.
Yeah, well, most. Or
freak of nature.
If you can claim family ties, if
right,
one
family
of your
ties.
relatives was born in Mexico, there are still some financial requirements for that, but they are significantly lower. But we just wanted to cover that topic today.
Let me say this again. I was going to say something when you were talking earlier, then I thought, well, I'll wait until you're done, and now I totally forgot what the heck I was going to say. Oh, I was going to say on the qualifying value of property for the United States, it's 581,500 US dollars. Now, I think for some people that's probably doable that are in those higher upper class jobs.
Yeah.
I think, probably living somewhere on the beach and you know,
Right, yeah, if
Cabo
you-
or something like
if
that,
you-
or right on the beach in Puerto Vallarta or whatever. I think that that's
Yeah.
doable. But for the majority of people, I mean, our house wasn't 581,000.
No, ours was,
Like 158,000
yeah.
is what we paid for ours. We could have got a little bit more, but why? You know, I mean, this house pretty much had everything we needed, but certainly not up to 581,500.
And by the way, I wanted to mention all those figures that I talked about are per person. So if you're a couple, pretty much double those,
Well,
except for possibly the property values.
but isn't there a way that you can come in under the spouse?
Under family unification,
Under
something like
family
that.
unification,
Yeah.
and I think it's a little less.
Yeah,
We didn't look into that.
no,
But like, yeah, like if I couldn't qualify, I could have come under Mark, and my qualifications, it would have been higher than, and don't take my word on this, I'm just talking through my neck. But from what I understand, like let's say that permanent residency, which we have here for 2024, is 7,300. I think as a couple, it probably would be, I don't know, maybe 8,500 or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I think if you can do that, but I don't know what the requirements are. We didn't look at that.
Right.
We just looked at for individual.
right.
And that's how we did it when we came in. We did it as individual.
And
Because I was thinking if he kicked the bucket,
thinking or planning? That's the question.
just thinking if he kicked the bucket before I did, because I wouldn't qualify. I don't make the kind of money
Yeah.
to qualify for permanent. That's why, thank God, I was able just to slide in, and they didn't check the finances. They did it once when you qualify, and that's why it's always been, if you're temporary, you can go ahead and pretty much slide in.
Yeah.
They've-
Well, for you, they checked it for your first year,
for the first, right.
and then they checked it again for your second
Did
through
they do it
fourth
the second
years.
one?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
But,
remember that.
You just applied for the 3-year temporary, so you only had to do it one time. For me, I had to do it for my first year temporary residency, and I had to prove my income when I went permanent after 1 year.
Right, because you went permanent after the
Right.
1 year. If you had waited and slid in, you wouldn't have had to prove anything
Right.
for permanent.
Right.
And there might be some states in Mexico that still make you prove your financials for going permanent. I just know a lot of them do not.
Right.
I don't know what the percentage, I don't know which ones they are that make you do that.
Right. And I got all those numbers off the Mexican consulate website, which I will include a link to in the description.
And that was as of today, so it's current
That was
information.
As of today, yeah.
Yeah. So again, guys, you know, I tell you all the time, if you're going to do it now, because this is crazy. Like I said, when Mark and I, maybe it was about 2,800, something like that.
Somewhere. in
Something
there.
like that, I think, when we were able to qualify.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, or I think we qualified actually on selling our home and having that money in the bank.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what we use.
That's what
as
we
our
qualified on.
bank
Is
account.
yeah. Because I know what I was going to say, Neil. The thing is too, with permanent residency, a lot of times they will not give it to you if you're still working.
Yeah.
Not all consulates. Again, all consulates are not the same in the United States. Okay, so know that. But a lot of times they'll tell you, like if you're in your 50s, you're still working or whatever, your 40s, and you want to qualify for permanent, a lot of consulates will say no. You have to be retired.
Or you're going to have to prove some way that you'll still be making that income when
Yeah.
you move to Mexico.
Yeah. So just be aware of that too. Keep that in mind. So it's just going up crazy, the
Yeah.
cost. I mean, look how much it's gone up in just a hint over 4 years.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's
We
gone
moved
up
here November of 2019, and today is
Today is February of 2024. Well, the month of February 2024.
Yeah, February 23rd, 2024. I don't even know what day it is half the time because I'm
The
retired.
joys of being retired.
But the thing is I'm pretty good about telling the time. I mean, if I don't have my Fitbit on, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's many times I'm within, a half an hour?
Yeah. She's like a human sundial.
I
She
am.
just
I'm like a
knows.
human sundial. It's like within a half an hour, sometimes within 15 minutes, I can get the right time. I don't know. It's just a gift God gave me, I guess.
Yep.
You know, useless gifts sometimes that we get. But I like it because I don't need a watch. Anyhow, guys, if you like what we're doing, we hope that you would consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. We also have a Facebook page by the same name, Two Travelers in Mexico, where we talk about different things, different articles, street dogs, probably different articles that people are posting and things like that that's going on in Mexico, like a bit like current information about the Maya train that's coming in.
Things like that. More like day-to-day information, really, in our
Yeah,
Facebook
just
group.
the news. The news kind of what's happening in Mexico, and then people might talk about it. I might post my postings on feeding the street dogs and what's going on,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's a little bit different content than it is on our YouTube channel. So, as always, from the Two Travelers in Mexico,
What she did.
bye guys.
Bye.